Eric Meeks. Thank you for watching the rare, bizarre, and scandalous Palm Springs real estate secrets. This is our first real live show that we've done, and I hope everything's working well for you out there in the audience. And we're going to go through this. It'll take us somewhere between about 45 minutes and an hour to go through the subjects. And I feel very fortunate to have one of my dear friends and a spectacular agent. Her name is Joan Martin, who's here with us today. Joan, thank you for joining us.
You're welcome. Delighted to be here.
For those of you who aren't familiar with Joan, she's been selling real estate down here for a couple of years and has a actually incredible base of knowledge when it comes to Palm Springs real estate, definitely. And she's made her mark with mid-century homes. What's that phrase that you use all the time, Joan?
Smashing.
Smashing houses. Yes.
Smashing houses in Palm Springs.
Yeah, if you ever Google smashing houses and Joan Martin's name, you will come up with multiple pages of sales where she's helped buyers and sellers over the years. It's really a spectacular history of selling homes on it. So thank you. I appreciate you joining.
Delighted to be here.
Joan actually represented the seller on a house that's going to be our first subject here. And I'm going to move over here. The three subjects that we're going to talk about today are the Barbie House, and that was one where Joan helped the last seller buy it. I remember, was it 2012 or 2014, something like that, where she'd helped them buy it. They went through a remodel, and then a decade later listed it, and then she represented them as a seller. And another RE/MAX agent represented the buyer. His name's David Whittier, who we're hoping who could be here, but he just bought his first home, and he's apparently dealing with some plumbing issues while he's there. So after we talk about the Barbie House in just a minute, we're going to speak about the urban legend of Munchkinville, which I don't know if you're...
What is Munchkinville?
Munchkinville, I'm going to save the meat and potatoes up for later, but it is an area where it's an urban legend that was rumored to have been built by the midgets from The Wizard of Oz. And I'm going to go through
here
the
in
history
Palm Springs.
Here in Palm Springs, absolutely.
Wow.
And then our last subject that we'll talk about is the scandalous portion of the rare, bizarre, and scandalous show. And that's going to be about the Cliff Lambert murder house that happened in Las Palmas, again, about a decade ago. So
Only
about a decade ago. So grab your cup of coffee, get yourself comfortable in your seat, and I hope you enjoy this. Now, let's start with the rare. Now, Joan, did it look like that on the inside when you sold these to these people a number of years ago?
it did not. It had been owned by a family for 30 years, maybe 40 years after the Mattel family owned it. And the Mattel family were the people who created Barbie and later on Ken. So it was not known as the Barbie House till my clients bought it, and we used that because that's Palm Springsy. But in fact, the people that owned it did create the Barbie, and the Mattel toy company was huge.
I think your clients found a spectacular target audience with
absolutely.
what they did.
Absolutely.
Especially catching Palm Springs as it became ever more kitschy,
That's
here.
right. That's right.
It gave an identity to a home that already had, I mean, I can't remember, the builder and the developer, it's on the screen, but I was just...
The builder was Roy Fey.
Roy
Fey did a huge tract in El Rancho Vista Estates, which used to be called the Barber Tract.
Barber Tract?
The Barber Tract, because Barbara was the daughter, I think, or the wife of one of the Feys. So
Okay.
it was called the Barber Tract. It's only been in the last 10 to 15 years it's changed to El Rancho Vista Estates.
Well, and I know the Fey name because they've got a real estate office over at Mesquite and 111, and have been selling and assisting in real estate out here for decades.
They are famous for they negotiate most of the lease properties for the Indians in Palm Springs, the Feys do. But
Gotcha.
Roy Fey was a great builder. He has a great reputation among builders of having used wonderful materials, and he didn't use skimpy 1x1s. He used apparently 4x2s, whatever they are, 2x4s, or
Okay.
whatever they are called.
Back when a 2x4 was a 2x4.
Right.
Yes.
And Wexler was the designer. There are 74 or 76 Wexlers only in that tract. There are other houses built by Fey, but they weren't all designed by Wexler.
Gotcha. Okay.
And they're mainly 3-bed, 2-bath. This particular one is 4-bed, 3-bath. There are 8 or 10 4-bed, 3-bath Wexlers
So
in that. And
that
this
sounds like
is
a
one
premium
of them.
floor plan then,
Yes.
if you could get the 4-bedroom.
Yes, absolutely. No fireplace in these. 4-bed, 3-bath, pool. It didn't have a spa when my clients bought it, and it didn't have, a lot of the little bells and whistles. It certainly didn't have all of the Barbie cushions and kitsch that it ended up with when they were selling it.
I'm going to go to VRBO right now because that's where I found the best pictures of it. Actually, I don't need that screen there. Let's come back over here. No, there we go. Okay, so this here is one of the pictures. Get it back to picture number 1. Right there is where it starts off with a nice glimpse of the backyard. And then I thought it would be fun while we were doing this. I've got 2 websites open. Are you seeing that, Stuart?
No.
What is going on? Then I need to... Now are you seeing it?
Yeah.
Good. Okay. For those of you who don't know, Stuart is our tech assistant who's off to the side running all the cameras right now. One day we might get a chance to meet him on camera. But I thought it would be fun to compare the house to a history of Mattel Barbie houses. And I'll tell you, I think they nailed it. They obviously had somebody who worked with them on color schemes and such to do it. That is the interior shot of the very first Mattel Barbie house. That was done in, see if I can find the year on there, 1962.
Well, they are both designers with Neiman Marcus, the guys that just sold it. My clients are, and they're now in Texas.
Well, they obviously chose their color
yeah.
palettes
Yes.
in looking at these sorts of images.
I've
to do
sold
it.
them a number of houses, and each one has been spectacular.
And that is a great backyard, as you can see in the image on the left. There, they've got the jacuzzi built into the pool there with it. And from some angles, there are some fantastic mountain views, okay, in that home.
And I'll tell you a little funny story. When I was selling this house to them years ago, 8 years ago or so, it certainly wasn't anywhere like the condition it is now. I didn't have that look. It was a family house where people had been for years and years. And there are quite a number of power lines at the back. And power lines are verboten with buyers of mid-century houses. They look up and go, you can see the power lines. Well, one of them did that, and he said to me, there's a lot of power lines. And I said, well, yes. Before the Mattels had this house, Edison owned it. And his idea was that he would run electricity to all of America from the backyard here. And he said to me, are you kidding? I said, of course I'm kidding. Don't ever tell that to anybody. I just made it.
Yes, it was a novel idea back
Yes,
in the time.
right.
Yes,
But
why
they
not
did-
have electricity to all the homes?
Right, they did come up with, they did do some amazing research to find their Barbie things. Those cushions, etc.,
Well,
etc.
because if you look at the bedspread, it's a little hard to see through the A-frame of the house there, but over here on this side with it, and then compare that to the fabric on the sofa. It's not an exact match,
Right.
but it's definitely from the same
It's
genre.
period. It's
yes.
period. Now, to show you on the left-hand side of the screen,
Yes.
you can see that that's the extra bed and bath on that end.
Back here. Yes.
That's the difference in the floor plan on the other houses, and that one is that piece is not in.
And I can
If we
see how
think
it
about it.
punches out there.
Right.
It goes on to has its
and
own
it's
slider.
private. You go through there. There's a whole private little wing.
Okay. Mhm. Interesting to know. It's, again, looking at the pinks, okay, and the reds, and then comparing it with the dollhouse on the right, and even
Yes.
the yellow is being splashed in on the sofa cushions. And out back, there's I guess that's a outdoor sofa or something.
It's plastic. That
Plastic.
outdoor sofa. It's fun.
Yeah, it's just really a great job. Let's move on over here to something else. Okay, so now if we compare it, we're moving up into the 80s here, the 86 Barbie house. I noticed on this one here, and I don't know if it's fair to say, but I'm going to say it anywhere. Do you think Barbie's the real estate agent in that? And shouldn't there be two Ken dolls?
Two Ken dolls?
Am I going the
No.
wrong direction there?
You are.
Oh.
You are. We did not call it the Barbie and Ken house. It was called, I sold it them by telling them that it was the Barbie house. That's what their attraction to it was. But so, no. But that beautiful, that detailing right on that interior
That is a great
wall
picture, where
with the
you-
diamond brick, it's absolutely pristine. That one has not been damaged in any way, and it goes to the outside. That goes along to the outside, and to the left of your arrow there on the exterior, there's a little dining porch off that dining room there.
That wall that's on the interior there, was this an enclosed area, or was
No.
that wall built into the interior originally,
That was how
you
it was
think?
done. That was how it was done. You didn't look smack into the kitchen. You looked, that broke it up, which you could see in, and it kept the light. You didn't have walls up so that you had just hallways. To compare that house with the Alexander, there's the outdoor dining. With the Alexander, there was also a half wall or a three-quarter wall, so you didn't cut out the light. It was a mid-century feature.
This is one here that this picture on the wall. Do you have any idea who that is?
I do. I asked them who it was, and now you'll excuse me, world. My mind is not what it used to be. It's much
Okay.
cleaner. I can't remember.
Was it like a friend of theirs, or I wondered like
I think that it's a friend. I think that it is, but then David and I, the agent from here that sold the house, we went over that a lot, and I did ask them. They had several pictures in there that they took, and that was, pardon me, that was one of them. But I don't remember who it was.
It's Barbie-esque.
Yes.
Part of me was wondering. There was a lady who had plastic surgery to make her look like Barbie, but it didn't look enough like her to me. But
Well,
I
the
don't always remember
photographs-
these things correctly.
Sorry, the photographs they took them because of the photographer, not because the subject.
Oh,
So they took
okay.
3 or 4 things from there. They took a Joan Crawford and a something else from there, but it wasn't because it was Crawford, it was because it was the photographer's work.
Sorry, just trying to keep the images moving along here as we do the comparisons. I didn't find a lot of cabinetry in the kitchen. It seemed like it was all taken down maybe as they opened up the walls.
Yes, I think it's not a chef's kitchen.
It's,
It's a fun house.
again, nailed the shade of pink there.
Yes,
That it could be called Barbie pink.
yes.
The bedrooms as we go through
And
them.
again, that painting over the bed, pulling in the colors.
Yes, I also noticed the nagel back in
Yes,
the dining area
right, right.
there on it. Again, that's adding a little bit of texture and dating to the home, moving it into the 80s at that point.
And
That's
of
when a lot of
course,
the
the
eight-
flamingos. You must have flamingos.
I saw the early picture of the flamingo
Yeah.
on it here, just as we get through the pictures, see what we can compare it to. There's one with some good color. Again, that's got to be a Barbie picture, an artist rendition of a Barbie.
Yes.
That does not look like a Mattel-generated photo, but something that an artist would do
Yeah,
to
right.
catch the style.
Great blue in that. Through the windows, that color blue, the photography on the sky above, below, and through the window, and then over the bed that just ties in. It's gorgeous.
I agree. You know, and these pictures are on VRBO.
Yes.
Right now, we're doing it there. So David's buyers must have the intent of continuing it on as a rental. Do you think that's what they're doing?
Yes, yeah, they bought it furnished. They bought it sight unseen, actually. And
Okay.
they bought it furnished. They didn't see it till 2 weeks after they closed. And the same rental agent is working with them that was working with the former buyers all the way through.
That's that fourth bedroom that we referred to. That must be correct, because it looks like we're looking back towards the living room through the open doorway
Hold
over here, and then
on.
onto the patio. So
Yes.
anyways, I believe
Yes,
so.
yes. That's absolutely right.
Yeah, again, those great colors that they got on it. I like even the frame
Right.
of the mirror matches kind of the decor in here, kind of an Art Deco period piece frame.
Yes, they knew how to do this. They've had a couple of others as well, and they knew what to look for, what to find, and how to make them fun.
Do you think that sofa is made out of plastic?
I
Now that
do.
looks like a big easy chair kind of thing.
Well, it is. In life, it's a big easy chair, but it is made out of plastic because I banged on it when I was there, when I was listing it to see if I banged on that.
Banged with your fist. Okay.
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
Charming. And they put in this little
putting green area.
A golf course.
And there's one of the flamingos. I was
That's
looking
right.
for it in the picture. I saw this picture earlier from a different angle.
And there's another one at the back of the house, under the window.
And there's those great views.
Yes.
And those telephone poles that were originally built by Edison.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, go figure on that. What a unique idea to feed electricity to the masses.
That's right. That's
Yes.
right.
But that's true with a lot of the neighborhoods in Palm Springs as you hit these mid-century homes, because they were all built at a time when power poles were used. It wasn't until I would say at least the later '60s, maybe even the '70s, till the city started undergrounding.
Some neighborhoods where there being, you have to get 5 houses in a row to agree, 5 owners in a row, and then they
Is that what it takes? 5 to do?
5 in a row. Yeah.
My information is more than 10 years old on this here, but at the time it was about $10,000 per house.
Yes, it still is, and 5
it?
in a row. $50,000 is the, and then some. But that's what you start with.
It's good to know. Well, those are some of the specialties that you bring to the table and the knowledge that you have. You're very good at this. I think we are back at the beginning. Yes, that was the last one,
Yeah.
which you must have taken this picture yourself with your cell phone or something. It's the one, all the other ones look like professional pictures, but whoever did
Are
it.
you suggesting that my phone
Is that your
pictures
phone?
are not
Let's see.
professional?
I think if we look close enough down here at the bottom somewhere, we'll see. Oh no, I meant this one. This one, of course.
one.
That's your
That
picture.
one.
Yes.
And that's a movable bar. That's not attached to anything. It just sits
Oh,
there.
okay.
It's very nice.
But it's sold with the home.
It did. It just suddenly appeared there one day.
Okay. Well, thank you, okay, for this here. I appreciate you going through that with us. We're right now at 17 minutes in. I knew it would be somewhere between 15 and 20 minutes. Doesn't time fly when you're having fun?
It does. It absolutely does. And I've had great fun, and I hope people enjoy seeing that Wexler. And there are others, and I do know about them, and I work here. So thank you for your time, Eric.
You're welcome. You're gonna stay here as we go to the next one, but so that we can take a break. Let's see if I can do this right. I set this up with a couple of quick commercials.
Glad we saved money with that discount agent. I don't know why nobody else wanted this place. See this place?
All right, I got this app.
Would you like to tour the house?
Yes,
Please.
Would you like to tour the house?
we're here, dude.